Hello, Leo. I know I've been away for a while. So I'm giving you a little bit of a Valentine's Day reading. Not necessarily what's going to happen on Valentine's Day, but what will probably happen after. But we'll look at definitely what are the energies surrounding this weekend. It's good to be back. We'll kind of explain, hopefully, some of the things that have been going on with me the last 6 months. So I'm going to get started. 3 cards for the past, 3 cards for the present, 3 cards for the future, and a 10th card for the outcome. So the first card is 7 of Cups. Weird, this showed up first for another reading. This is a 2 of Pentacles. And the interesting thing is these 2 cards are both about juggling and making choices. Procrastination. I have the Emperor. This is a Page of Cups. We're heading into present. I have 8 of Pentacles, and this will be in the center of your card. This is a 9 of Wands. All right, heading into the future. I have a 5 of Pentacles. I have an 8 of Cups. I have a 7 of Swords. So I'm seeing a little bit of turbulence heading into the future. But again, I'll address that in the main reading. I'll pull the outcome card after I discuss these 9 cards. The first thing I always address are the major arcana, because those are the major themes of the tarot. The numbered cards are the smaller pip cards, and they usually, they're the smaller changes. But when you get major arcana cards, they kind of set the tone of what the reading is about. And so you only have, from what I can see, just one major arcana card, and that is the Emperor. And that can be a card of authority. It can represent a husband. It can represent responsibilities. Some of you might actually be married, okay? But sometimes in a relationship reading, it can mean an authority figure, and it can represent a situation where someone is calling the shots, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, your boss might say you're working new hours, and you pretty much have to go along with it. In a relationship reading, it can represent a situation, for instance, maybe a partner broke up with you, started dating someone else. Maybe some of you are dating someone who's married. That would be a situation that you have no control over. It's calling the shots. A number of things, but it does mean authority, power, and control. The next thing is this card in the middle. You have an 8 of Pentacles reversed. The 8 of Pentacles is about focus and dedication, and it's about working on things, setting a goal, setting a purpose, and working towards it. So when this is in reverse, having looked at the Emperor, I'm getting a sense that as far as the relationship or the romantic situation, things are not moving forward. A love interest or partner is not working on the relationship. It's sort of like maybe they gave up, they're not investing their time, they're not really committed. And so that's very important to note, because as I said, I'm looking at these 2 cards here, and together These two cards are definitely indicating why this Emperor is showing up and why this Eight of Pentacles is showing up. I also want to point out that you have some 7s and 8s here. You have 7 of Cups and 7 of Swords, and then you have 8 of Pentacles reversed, and then 8 of Cups here. 7s are about revision, going back and redoing. Anything with revision, revise, reflect. So that's what the number 7 means. 8 is the number of change and moving forward. So I'm getting a sense that decisions need to be made. Someone needs to make a choice, but it's not happening. It's pretty much stalled. Especially with this 7 of Swords here, with the 7 of Cups. Both of these are cards where in a romantic relationship, it's not really good. For just starting here with the past, you do have that 7 of Cups. This is the card of procrastination. You have to make an emotional decision. You have to pick one of these cups. And maybe your partner can't make a decision because they're juggling maybe 2 relationships. Maybe they're busy with work. But note how the young boy, his back is turned against the water. Water represents love and emotions. And so some of you might be, it's Valentine's Day, some of you might be with a partner who's afraid to commit. Maybe they're just dating around and you're wanting them to commit, to choose you. But they can't do that. And so this Emperor shows up to sort of underscore the fact that you can't control this person, and yet this person's calling the shots. There's a, I'm not ready yet, wait a little longer, that type of issue. So when we head here to the present, yes, we have a Page of Cups. This is a card of young love, infatuation, but it's not committed love. You see the young child here. Pages always represent young children. And I'm not saying your partner's immature necessarily, but I am kind of seeing that there's a relationship that's always in the infatuation stage, but it's not growing. It's not maturing. Okay? You're not getting to the Queen of Cups or the King of Cups. So I feel like that's a serious issue with your partner. They are not willing to grow emotionally. They're not willing to stop dating around or running away from a commitment. And that's why we have that 8 of Pentacles reversed. So, Leo, you are fire. Wands represent fire. So the Emperor holding that wand definitely has a lot to do with fire. But I feel like the dominant energy is control and power. But with this 9 of Wands, you see that the wands are behind her. Those wands behind her symbolize obstacles from the past that you've gotten through. So some of you might be with partners where you've been through this non-committing issue a lot. And now she's facing the future and she's ready to address this obstacle. So part of what I'm seeing as far as Valentine's Day is the fact that some of you might be addressing relationship issues that have still not been resolved. They might be creeping back up again in the next few weeks. And so these future cards are very important because definitely what I'm seeing here is this 5 of Pentacles here. This is the card, you see it's winter time. The trees are barren. This is usually the poverty card in a non-romantic reading. But in a romantic reading, it can mean a really tough time. And you're waiting for things to get better. And it will, because you do see a little bit of spring growth. And so I feel like the Oracle is saying, as we progress through spring, you're going to have some residual issues with your relationship. as you head into February and March. But it's a matter of things starting to move forward, things starting to grow. It might mean your partner might back off, and not necessarily a breakup, but when you get to this Eight of Cups here, this Eight of Cups is about letting go, taking some emotional space. So we have that Seven of Cups in the background. In the past, someone can't commit, and they don't want to be forced. They're like, I can't, I just need some space emotionally. I'm not necessarily seeing a breakup, but I am seeing a partner emotionally run away. Now, when we get here to that Seven of Swords, the Seven of Swords is about secret agendas, sometimes in extreme cases. It can mean cheating or lying, but I kind of feel that in the context of the other cards, it just simply means your partner is not sharing everything with you. They're not being open and upfront about why they can't commit. Some examples, they might still be in love with someone else. So some of you might have met someone new. Maybe you've been dating for a few months and they still haven't been able to get past this Page of Cups. And so I feel like, again, there's a little bit of running away from commitment, and they're not necessarily being open and honest with you about why they keep running away or why they keep putting you at a distance. Please excuse the siren. I live in LA. I'm pretty lucky that that's the only siren I've had during this reading. So yes, some of you, partners running away emotionally. And this could be a situation that does improve. But again, I'm getting the feeling that there are certain circumstances that are beyond your control. Maybe circumstances, I feel like this is what your partner's hiding, that there are things going on in their life where they're afraid to commit. Maybe the energy of a previous relationship. So shuffling for the outcome card. And you have a Nine of Swords. So you do have two nines, 7, 8s, and 9s. Now the good news is that these are numbers that are very, very high up, meaning when you start with an ace is the beginning of a cycle. By the time you get to 9s and 10s, 7s, and 8s, it means that a relationship issue or a cycle or a situation is headed towards closure. But this is the card of anxiety. And because of your partner's secrecy and non-committing and communication issues, you might text your partner or your love interest and they don't answer back. This might cause a lot of anxiety, but this definitely means, sometimes it can mean an energy vampire, someone who is drawing on your anxiety. They're maintaining power over you, and they're keeping you worried, and they're trying to control you because of their lack of commitment. Now, as far as the outcome, I think the Oracle is also trying to communicate to you that you don't want, it's important that there needs to be communication, because you do not want to be up in bed awake having nightmares about whether this person's going to hurt you or not. So I do feel like there's a connection between these two nines, in that there seems to be a fear, like something's going on here, I do not know. And so it's important that you, again, try not to control the situation, but also trust your instincts here. And maybe it's you who needs to take an emotional time out because your partner keeps being flaky, okay? but I do feel that in time you're going to understand the situation a little bit better, and you will be able to get a better handle on it. But right now what I'm seeing heading into Valentine's Day is you wanting a stronger commitment, you wanting more of an emotional connection with your partners, and at different levels or in different ways, your partners are just kind of backing off a little bit. Okay? So give yourself room, not necessarily your partner. Don't accommodate your partner, but definitely give yourself emotional room as well. Okay? So that was my reading. And I am offering a special on my phone readings. Usually it's $20 for 15 minutes. But for the next couple months until the beginning of spring through February and March, I will be offering my phone readings 15 minutes for $10. So I hope you take advantage of that. And I hope I get to reconnect with some of my old clients and can reconnect with new clients. So please take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Love yourself for Valentine's Day, whether you're with someone or not. I will see you next month. And as always, I wish you love and light.